I sat in the third row, staring at the empty chair beside me. That chair was supposed to belong to Claire. 6 years. 6 years of dinners, late-night calls, cheap vacations, arguments, apologies, and promises. 6 years of believing that this morning would end with me taking her hand and calling her my wife. Then the music started. I looked toward the aisle. Claire appeared beside her father. My heart jumped. Why is she walking from that side? I whispered. Daniel leaned toward me. Something's wrong. No, I said quickly. Maybe the wedding coordinator changed the entrance. Daniel did not answer. I looked at the altar. A man was standing there. Adrian Blake. My stomach dropped. No, I whispered. Daniel grabbed my arm. Ethan, that's Adrian. I know. That's Adrian Blake. I know who he is. I stared at Claire. She kept walking. She was wearing the white dress we had chosen together. I remembered her standing in our apartment, holding a wedding catalog. Do you like this one? She had asked. You look beautiful in anything. She had laughed. You always say that. Because it's true. Now that same dress was moving toward another man. I stood halfway up. Daniel pulled me down. Sit. She's marrying him. Wait. She's marrying him, Daniel. Claire reached the altar. She looked at Adrian. Then she looked at me. For 1 second, I expected her to run. I expected her to drop the flowers, walk to the crowd, and tell everyone there had been a mistake. She did nothing. The ceremony continued. I heard words without understanding them. Promises, rings, forever. Then the officiant said, "You may kiss." The room erupted in applause. I felt nothing. Daniel whispered, "Come on, we're leaving." No. Ethan, please. I need to talk to her. You don't need anything from her. I need an answer. You already have one. I looked at him. What? She chose him. After the guests began moving toward the reception hall, I waited near a quiet corridor. Claire finally came through the door. She stopped when she saw me. Ethan, why? She lowered her eyes. Please don't do this here. Where should I do it? At home? In our apartment? The apartment you left for him? It isn't that simple. Then make it simple. She took a shaky breath. I chose Adrian. I watched. I know. You wore the dress we picked together. I know. You stood where I was supposed to stand. I know. My voice cracked. Then tell me why. She looked at me for several seconds. Because Adrian can give me the life you never could. I felt the words hit harder than any slap. What life? Security, status, opportunities, a future without struggling over every bill. So 6 years with me were a struggle? That isn't what I meant. It sounds exactly like what you meant. I loved you, Ethan. Loved. She swallowed. I still care about you. That isn't love. I'm sorry. No, don't say that yet. She stepped closer. I was scared. You should have told me. I didn't know how. You could have said, Ethan, I don't want you anymore. I couldn't. But you could marry him? Tears filled her eyes. I thought I was making the right choice. I laughed once, but there was no humor in it. The right choice for who? She said nothing. Daniel appeared behind me. Ethan, we're leaving. I nodded. Before I walked away, I pulled off my engagement ring. Claire stared at it. Ethan, please. I placed the ring on the table between us. You wanted a different life. She reached toward it. I stepped back. Keep the wedding. Keep the life. Just don't keep pretending you didn't choose it. Her voice became barely a whisper. Ethan, I'm sorry. I looked at her one last time. You will be, just not today. I walked outside with Daniel beside me. My phone vibrated. Unknown number. I opened the message. You don't know the real reason Claire left you. I stopped walking. For the first time that day, my heartbreak made room for something else. Fear. I read the message twice. Daniel looked at me. What is it? I showed him the screen. Who sent that? I don't know. Delete it. Not yet. This could be someone trying to hurt you. But if someone knows why Claire left me, I need to know. Don't let this pull you back into her life. I locked my phone. I can't promise that. Months passed before Claire and I spoke again. I found her waiting outside my office one evening. Ethan, I stopped. Why are you here? I need to ask you something. You already asked me everything you wanted at the wedding. I know. She looked down at her hands. Can we talk? I nodded, but I stayed standing. I heard what you said in your statement. I said, you told everyone the truth. I should have done it sooner. Yes, I'm sorry. I know. She looked up. That's all. What do you want me to say? I want to know if you hate me. I thought about it. No. Her eyes filled with tears. Then why won't you come back? I took a slow breath. Because I loved you when you were everything to me. I built my whole life around you. I thought losing you would destroy me. It almost did. I know. I wish I could change that. You can't. She wiped her cheek. I thought Adrian could give me something you couldn't. You thought money could give you a better life. I was wrong. Yes. I was stupid. Yes. I don't expect you to forgive me. I already have. She stared at me. You have? I forgave you because I don't want to carry anger anymore. Then give me another chance. I shook my head. Claire, forgiveness is an invitation. She closed her eyes. I still love you. I loved you too. Too. I looked at her. That word matters. She began crying quietly. I don't know how to lose you again. You lost me at that altar. I know. I just took longer to understand it. She covered her face. I'm sorry, Ethan. I believe you. Then why does this hurt so much? Because regret doesn't change the past. She nodded slowly. I understand. For once, I believed her. After Claire left, Mia found me in my office. You okay? Yes. That sounded almost convincing. I smiled. I am okay. She sat across from me. You really don't want her back? No, not even a little. I miss who I was before everything happened. That isn't the same thing. I know. I looked at the plan spread across my desk. My father's business is growing. I want to build something of my own. You already are. I want it to become bigger than what I thought I could do. Mia smiled. Then do it. I will. A few weeks later, I heard that Adrian had left the Blake family business. He called me once. I'm starting over, he said. I hope you do. I owe you an apology. You don't owe me anything. I was part of what destroyed your life. You were part of my past. Don't make yourself part of my future. He laughed softly. That sounds like you. I'll take that as a compliment. I hope you find peace, Ethan. I think I already have. Victor faced the consequences of everything he had done. His company was gone. His reputation was broken, and the power he had used to control everyone disappeared. I didn't celebrate. I simply moved on. Then, months later, an envelope arrived. Claire's name was on it. I opened it. An invitation. She was getting married again. My hand stayed still. At the bottom, she had written a note. Thank you for teaching me what love and accountability really mean. I hope you can forgive me enough to be happy for me. Mia read it over my shoulder. Are you going? No. Are you sure? Yes. Why? Because I don't need to watch another wedding to know I'm free. That evening, I drove to the old apartment Claire and I once shared. I stood outside for several minutes. This used to be my future. I whispered. Then I smiled. No, it was only the future I imagined. I took Claire's invitation from my pocket. For a moment, I remembered the man who had sat at that wedding believing his life was over. Then I tore the invitation in half. I dropped it into the trash. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel sadness. I felt free. I turned away from the building and started walking. I didn't look back, and I was finally grateful. I once watched a woman I loved marry someone else and thought my life had ended. Years later, I finally understood the truth. That wedding did not take my future away. It gave it back to me. I spent 3 days staring at the message. You don't know the real reason Claire left you. I read it again. Then again. Daniel found me sitting on the edge of the bed. You're still thinking about that? Yes. Delete it. I can't. Why? Because whoever sent it knew something. They ain't in sight. Ethan! Claire married another man. That's enough. I looked around the apartment. Half of Claire's things were gone. Her clothes had disappeared from the closet. Her books were missing from the shelf. Even the blue mug she always used was gone. I picked it up. Daniel, watch me. You need to stop doing this. Doing what? Looking for her in every room. I put the mug down. She lived here for 6 years. And now she doesn't. I know. Then throw everything away. I shook my head. Not yet. Daniel sat beside me. You're hurting yourself. I just need time. You've had 3 days. It feels like 3 minutes. Before he could answer, someone knocked. I opened the door. Mia stood there holding coffee. I brought this before you could make a terrible decision. I almost smiled. What terrible decision? Calling Claire. I wasn't going to. Mia raised an eyebrow. You were thinking about it. I took the coffee. Maybe. She walked inside and looked around. Oh, Ethan. What? She really took half the apartment. I noticed. Mia sat down. There's something you need to know. My stomach tightened. What? Claire had been seeing Adrian for months. I stared at her. How long? Almost 5 months. I felt my fingers tighten around the cup. 5 months. Yes. She came home every night. I know. She kissed me. I know. She told me she loved me. Mia lowered her eyes. I know. I walked toward the window. Why didn't you tell me? I tried. When? Before the wedding. I couldn't prove it. I turned around. You should have told me anyway. I was afraid you'd hate me for destroying your relationship. It was destroyed. Mia stood. Ethan, don't blame yourself. I'm not. You are. I looked at her. Ich trusted her. That wasn't your mistake. Then what was? Believing her betrayal meant you weren't enough. Her words silenced me. After she left, I called Samuel. He answered. What happened? I need you to look at something. Send it. I need more than that. I need you to review the apartment records, wedding expenses, and every transfer connected to Claire. There was a pause. Why? Because I think something else happened. All right, come to my office. 2 hours later, Samuel spread documents across his desk. Your apartment account looks normal. And the wedding? Normal. I leaned closer. What is it? Claire moved $80,000 from the joint account 3 days before the wedding. My chest tightened. 80,000? I had never seen that number before today. Yes. Where did it go? An account in her name. I stood. She stole from me? Samuel shook his head. We need to be careful with that word. I don't care what the legal word is. I called Claire. She answered after several rings. Ethan, why did you take $80,000? Silence. Claire, I needed it. For what? I was protecting my future. Your future with Adrian? Yes. The answer burned. You planned this. I didn't plan to hurt you. You moved our money before marrying him. I was scared. You were scared? Yes. Of what? She hesitated. I can't explain everything. Then explain something. I'm sorry. Stop saying that. I ended the call before I said something I couldn't take back. When I returned to Samuel's office, Daniel was there. He saw my face. What happened? She said she was protecting her future. Daniel stepped closer. Don't call her again. I won't. My phone buzzed. Adrian had posted a wedding photo. His caption read, "The perfect beginning." I stared at the picture. Then I laughed. Perfect. Samuel looked at his computer. Ethan, wait. What? I found something else. He opened a file. Claire didn't simply choose Adrian. I looked at him. Then why did she? Samuel turned the screen toward me. Because someone pressured her. He pointed to a document. My name was printed across the top. Ethan, Claire didn't leave you because Adrian was richer. She left because your name was about to become a problem. I stared at Samuel's documents until the words blurred. Claire had chosen Adrian. Victor had pressured her. My name was tied to a company I barely knew existed. And somehow, I was still sitting there wondering if I could get Claire back. Daniel noticed. Don't. I looked up. Don't what? Don't start thinking about forgiving her, because you're lonely. I wasn't. You were. I sighed. What am I supposed to do? Live. That sounds simple. It is. It doesn't feel simple. Daniel leaned back. You spent 6 years building your life around Claire. Now, build one around yourself. His words stayed with me. The next morning, I went to my father's office. Thomas looked up from his desk. You're early. I couldn't sleep. He studied me. What do you need? I want to work with you. He blinked. You've said for years that construction wasn't for you. I know. You hated the idea. I hated what I thought it meant. And now, I need something real. My father smiled slightly. You can start Monday. That's it. What did you expect? A speech. I've never been good at speeches. I laughed. That makes 2 of us. Thomas stood and walked toward me. Ethan, work won't fix your heart. I know, but it can give your mind somewhere else to go. I'll take that. My first weeks were hard. I came home exhausted, covered in dust, with my hands aching from work I had once considered beneath me. Mia visited one afternoon. You look terrible. Thanks. I mean it as a compliment. How? You're finally doing something instead of sitting around thinking about Claire. I smiled. I've been thinking about her. Mia's expression softened. Then stop making that the most important thing about you. I looked at her. What if she was the best thing that ever happened to me? Then why are you miserable? I had no answer. Mia continued. Ethan, you spent years trying to become the man Claire wanted. I loved her. I know. I wanted to give her everything. And what did you give yourself? I looked down. Nothing. That is what needs to change. Her words hurt because they were true. That night, I opened an old notebook. Inside were plans for a small construction company I had dreamed about years ago. I had abandoned them after Claire told me they were too risky. I stared at the pages. Then I picked up a pen. For the first time in years, I wrote something without asking what Claire would think. I wrote my own name. Meanwhile, Claire's life was beginning to crack. I knew because people talked. Adrian's business was losing money. Victor blamed Claire for decisions she hadn't made. Elena had started asking uncomfortable questions. One evening, Claire sent me a message. Can we talk? I stared at it. Another message arrived. Please. I locked my phone. The next morning, another message waited. I miss you. I deleted it. Daniel noticed. She contacted you? Yes. What did you say? Nothing. He smiled. Good. I looked at him. Why does silence feel harder than arguing? Because arguing keeps you connected. That sentence changed something inside me. I stopped checking Claire's social media. I stopped asking mutual friends about her. I stopped wondering whether Adrian was treating her well. I focused on work. Thomas began trusting me with larger projects. You have a good eye, he told me one afternoon. I learn from you. No, you learn by making mistakes. I smiled. That's probably true. You're changing. I hope so. Your mother would have been proud. I looked away. Thanks, Dad. A month later, Claire came to the construction site. I saw her standing near the entrance in a simple coat, looking nervous. I walked toward her. What are you doing here? I needed to see you. You could have called. You wouldn't answer. That was intentional. She swallowed. I thought you'd be happy to see me. I am happy. Her eyes brightened. Really, I'm happy because I'm finally okay. Her expression fell. Ethan, I made a mistake. You made a choice. I was confused. You still chose him. I regret it. I believe you. She stepped closer. Then please come back. I shook my head. You don't understand. Help me understand. The man who would have begged you to come back is gone. She stared at me through tears. You think I ruined your life. I don't. Then what do you think? You changed it. She wiped her face. I never wanted to hurt you, but you did. I know. I stepped back. Now I have to live with what happened. And so do you. She looked at me for several seconds. Then she whispered, You think you ruined my life. Ethan, you haven't heard the worst part yet. I stared at Claire. What worst part? She looked toward the ground. Adrian's family is in trouble. That's not my problem. I know. Then why are you telling me? Because Victor forced me to continue the wedding. You knew something was wrong before you married him? Yes. How much did you know? Enough to be afraid. And you still left me? I thought I could fix it. You thought becoming Adrian's wife would fix everything? I thought I would have control. I laughed bitterly. You couldn't control your own wedding. Claire flinched. Victor told me canceling the wedding would destroy his family. So you sacrificed me to protect them. I was scared. You should have been honest. I know. No, Claire, you don't know. She wiped her tears. I made the wrong choice. You made several choices. Before she could answer, my phone rang. Samuel. Ethan, I need you in my office. What happened? Come now. I looked at Claire. I have to go. Please let me come. No, I need to explain. You've explained enough. Samuel had several files waiting when I arrived. He pushed one toward me. These contracts concern Blake Holdings. I opened it. What am I looking at? Agreements that may contain fraudulent information. Whose names are on them? Victor's, Adrian's, and Claire's. Claire stepped inside behind me. Samuel looked surprised. I told her she couldn't come. I said, I came anyway, Claire answered. Samuel opened another file. Claire, did you sign these? She stared at the pages. I signed some documents. Did you understand what they were? Victor told me they were routine. Samuel shook his head. They weren't. Claire's face went pale. What does that mean? It means your name appears on contracts connected to transactions that may be illegal. You knew something was wrong. I didn't know this. But you knew enough. Claire looked at me. I was trying to protect myself. And you protected yourself by destroying me. I thought Adrian could protect me. That was your mistake. My phone rang again. Adrian. I answered. What? Is Claire with you? Yes. I need to speak to her. She's here. I handed her the phone. Adrian's voice was loud enough for me to hear. You knew about the problems, didn't you? Claire closed her eyes. I knew something was wrong. You lied to me, too. I didn't lie. You married me while knowing my family was hiding something. I was pressured. Don't blame my father for everything. Adrian, I was scared. So was I. The call ended. Claire lowered the phone. I looked at her. Your marriage is already falling apart. I know. And you still expect me to save you? No. She hesitated. I expect you to help me tell the truth. I studied her face. For months, I had wanted to see her suffer. Now she was standing in front of me terrified, and somehow I couldn't enjoy it. I'll help, I said. She looked surprised. Why? Because I don't want to become like Victor. Samuel nodded. Then we need everything. Emails, messages, contracts, bank records. Claire swallowed. I'll give you everything. And you tell the truth. I will. No hiding anything. I promise. No blaming Adrian. She nodded. No blaming me either. Her eyes filled with tears. I won't. I leaned back. Then we'll start tomorrow. Claire stood. Thank you. Don't thank me. Why? Because I'm not rescuing you. I understand. You're going to face what you did. She nodded. I deserve that. After she left, Samuel remained silent. What? I asked. He opened another folder. There's something else. My stomach tightened. What now? I found one final document. He placed it in front of me. I stared at the page. My blood went cold. My signature. Samuel nodded. Yes. I looked at him. Ethan, this changes everything. I couldn't move. That signature is mine. I know. I never signed this. Then we have a bigger problem. I picked up the document. When was this filed? 3 months ago. 3 months. Yes. That was before Claire left me. Samuel nodded. And before the wedding. I felt my hand shaking. Why would my signature be here? I don't know yet. Could Claire have done this? We can't assume anything. But her name is on it. So is yours. I stared at the page again. The woman who had broken my heart might not have been the only person betraying me. Find out who created this, I said. Samuel closed the folder. I will. I stood. For once, I don't want revenge. What do you want? The truth. Samuel nodded. Then we'll find it. I looked at my signature one last time, and for the first time since the wedding, I wondered if Claire had been running from something far worse than Adrian. You said there was a worse part, I said. Tell me. What scandal? I asked. Money was moved through companies that existed on paper, she said. Victor borrowed against assets that were pledged. If the truth came out, investors would panic. And you knew this? I knew to be afraid, but not enough to understand how it went. So you chose Adrian because you thought family could protect you. Yes, that doesn't make what you did right. I know. Claire stood in front of me, twisting her fingers together. Adrian's family was hiding a financial scandal before the wedding. I stared at her. You knew? I knew something was wrong. How long? Several weeks. And you still married him? Victor pressured me. Victor? He said canceling the wedding would destroy the Blake family. I laughed bitterly. So you destroyed us instead. I was scared. You could have told me. I thought I could fix everything after becoming Adrian's wife. You thought money could fix it? I thought I would have more power. You had me. Claire looked away. I know. No, you don't. I stepped back. You looked me in the eyes every night while planning a future with another man. I didn't plan to hurt you, but you did. I know. My phone rang. Samuel. Ethan, come to my office. Now. What happened? I found something important. I'm coming. Claire reached for my arm. Can I come? No. Ethan, please. You've already told me enough. I need to explain. You needed to explain before the wedding. She lowered her hand. I'll wait. At Samuel's office, I found documents spread across his desk. What are these? Contracts connected to Blake Holdings. I picked one up. Why are you showing me this? Because several of these transactions look fraudulent. My jaw tightened. Who signed them? Victor, Adrian, and Claire. Claire had followed me. Samuel looked at her. Did you know what these contracts contained? I signed some papers, but Victor told me they were routine. Were you aware money was being moved through shell companies? Claire shook her head. No. Samuel pointed to a paragraph. Your name appears here. I didn't authorize that. That may be true, but your signature still creates a problem. Claire's face went pale. What kind of problem? Legal exposure. She sat down. I can't go to prison. I looked at her. This is what you chose. I know. My phone rang again. Adrian. I answered. What? Is Claire with you? Yes. Put her on. I handed her the phone. Adrian's voice was sharp. You knew about my father's problems? Claire closed her eyes. I knew something was wrong. You married me knowing that. I was pressured. You made everything worse. I was trying to protect myself. You used me. I didn't. You knew enough to walk away. Claire started crying. I didn't know it was real anymore. The call ended. She placed the phone on the desk. He hates me. I answered quietly. You both have reasons. She looked at me. Do you hate me? I thought about it. I did. And now I'm trying not to become someone I don't recognize. Samuel nodded. That's why we need the truth. Claire looked at me. What do you need? Everything. Messages, emails, contracts, bank records, anything Victor gave you. I'll give you everything. And no lies. I promise. And you accept responsibility for leaving me. She swallowed. Yes. I'll help you. Her eyes widened. You will? Yes. Why? Because I want justice, not revenge. She began crying again. I don't deserve your help. Maybe not. Then why? Because I don't want Victor deciding what kind of man I become. Claire wiped her face. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. She nodded. You're going to tell the truth. I will. And you're going to face whatever comes next. I understand. She left with Samuel's instructions. I remained in the office. Samuel was silent. What? He opened another folder. There's one more thing. He placed a document in front of me. I stared at the page. My signature was at the bottom. What is this? A business authorization. I never signed that. That's the problem. When was it filed? 3 months ago. My stomach dropped. That was before the wedding. Yes. Before Claire left me. Yes. I looked at the signature again. Someone forged my name. Possibly. Who? I don't know. I clenched my fists. Then find out. I will. I looked at the document one more time. My heartbreak suddenly felt small compared with what was coming. Samuel. Yes. If someone used my name to hide the scandal, I want the truth. He closed the folder. We'll find it. I nodded. For the first time, I understood that Claire's betrayal might have only been the beginning. I looked at Claire across Samuel's office. Why are you helping me? She asked. Because I refuse to become cruel just because you hurt me. She stared at me. I don't understand. I wanted revenge. I wanted you to feel everything I felt. But if I destroy you, I become someone I don't respect. Claire wiped her eyes. I don't deserve your kindness. This isn't kindness. It's a choice. What choice? To tell the truth and let justice decide what happens. She nodded slowly. I'll give Samuel everything. Everything. Messages, emails, documents. Even the conversations I had with Victor. Even if they damage you? Yes. That was the first time I believed her. Samuel entered with another folder. Then we start now. Claire sat beside him. I'll answer every question. Good, Samuel said, because Victor won't stop. He was right. That night, I received a call from Adrian. Ethan, my father knows about the investigation. What did he say? He threatened me. What kind of threat? He said he'll destroy anyone who betrays him. I felt my anger return. Then expose him. I'm going to. Are you sure? I spent my whole life trying to earn his approval. I'm done. For the first time, I understood Adrian. You don't have to become him to defeat him. I know. The next morning, Victor sent a message to Claire. You will regret this. She showed it to me. Are you afraid? I asked. Yes. Good. She looked surprised. Good. Fear means you understand the danger. Just don't let it control you. Samuel filed the evidence. Claire gave a formal statement. Adrian gave one too. Victor tried to destroy records, but Samuel had already secured copies. Still, I couldn't sleep. Daniel found me sitting alone in the office. You're thinking about revenge again. I am. What would revenge give you? Maybe peace. No. I looked at him. How do you know? Because revenge keeps you tied to the person who hurt you. I said nothing. Daniel continued. You already escaped, Claire. Don't build a prison called Victor. I lowered my head. You're right. I usually am. I laughed to spite myself. Don't ruin the moment. A few days later, Claire called me. Adrian and I are separating. I'm sorry. Don't be. Are you okay? I will be. What happened? We finally admitted that our marriage was built on fear, money, and pressure. I stayed quiet. I lost everything I thought I wanted, she said. You still have your life. That sounds different now. It is. She took a breath. I used to think you were too ordinary for me. I closed my eyes. I know. I thought Adrian could give me a better future. I know. But you were the only person who loved me without asking what I could give you. I didn't answer. Ethan, Yes. Say something. You learned the lesson too late. Silence filled the call. I know, she whispered. I ended the call gently. Weeks passed. Adrian left the Blake company. He told me, I'm starting my own business. Good. I don't know if I'll succeed. You'll never know unless you try. He smiled. My father would hate that answer. Then it's probably the right one. Claire began rebuilding her life too. She moved into a small apartment and started working again. She no longer talked about luxury or status. She talked about accountability. I continued working with my father. Every day, I felt less like the broken man who had watched his fiancée marry someone else. Then, one morning, Daniel rushed into my office. Ethan. What? You need to see this. He placed his phone on my desk. A news statement filled the screen. Victor Blake was blaming me. The headline made my blood run cold. Ethan Cole at the center of Blake financial scandal. I stared at the screen. Daniel looked at me. Don't react. I clenched my fists. He's trying to destroy me. I know. I looked at the statement again. Victor had just declared war. I felt the old anger rising again. Maybe I should answer him publicly. Daniel shook his head. Not yet. Why? Because you finally learned patience. I hate being patient. I know. I called Samuel. Tell me we have enough evidence. We have more than enough. Then why is he doing this? Because he's desperate. Can he make people believe him? For a while. I looked at Daniel. What do I do? Tell the truth, Samuel said. Then let the evidence speak. I breathed slowly. For once, I didn't want to scream. I didn't want to destroy Victor. I wanted to survive him, and that felt like a victory. I looked at the headline once more. This time, I wasn't afraid. If Victor wanted a war, I would answer with the truth. The day everything turned around. By noon, 3 clients had canceled their contracts. By evening, 2 more called. I sat in my office staring at my phone while another message appeared. We no longer feel comfortable working with you. I locked the screen. Daniel stood near my desk. You okay? No. He nodded. Do you want me to stay? Yes. I looked at him. For once, I don't want to be alone. He pulled up a chair. You're not losing everything. It feels like I am. You survived worse. This time people believe Victor. Then we'll make them believe the truth. My phone buzzed again. An old rumor had appeared online. Someone claimed I had helped Claire manipulate the Blake family before the wedding. I laughed bitterly. They're making me the villain. Daniel shook his head. Victor is scared. I know. Samuel called. Ethan, don't read anything else. Too late. We have evidence. How much? Enough to destroy Victor's story. Then why are we waiting? Because I want everything verified before we release it. I took a breath. Fine. That night, Samuel arrived with Olivia. She placed her phone on my desk. I saved everything. What is it? Messages between Victor and Claire. I looked at her. Messages about what? Pressure. Threats. Instructions. Samuel nodded. These prove Victor knew Claire was uncomfortable and forced her to continue. I stared at the screen. Will this clear me? It will help. Olivia looked at me. There is more. She opened another conversation. Victor had written that I needed to be removed before the wedding because my business could interfere with his plans. My hands tightened. He planned this. Yes, Olivia said. Before I could answer, Claire called. Ethan? Yes. I want to tell the truth. You don't have to ask me. I know. You'll hurt yourself. I already hurt myself. I stayed silent. She continued. I need to do this publicly. Then tell everything. I will. The next morning, Claire appeared in front of cameras. I watched the broadcast with Daniel and Samuel. Claire stood behind a podium. I left Ethan Cole for Adrian Blake, she said. That was my choice. Daniel looked at me. I didn't move. Claire continued. Ethan had nothing to do with the Blake financial scheme. He did not help my family, Victor Blake, or Adrian hide anything. The room erupted with questions. Claire raised her voice. I knew something was wrong before my wedding. I was afraid, selfish, and wrong. I chose money and status over honesty. My chest tightened. She was destroying her own reputation to tell the truth. I hurt someone who loved me, she continued. I cannot undo that. I looked down. Samuel whispered, "She's doing the right thing." I nodded. Then Adrian appeared on another broadcast. My father manipulated documents and pressured people to protect the Blake business, he said. I am providing every record I have. The story exploded. Within hours, Victor's company began collapsing. Clients withdrew. Investors demanded answers. News channels replayed Claire's confession. By evening, my name had been cleared. Daniel smiled. You're free. I leaned back. I thought I'd feel happier. You're tired. I think I expected revenge to feel better. You didn't get revenge. I looked at him. No, you got your life back. Those words meant more than victory. The next afternoon, Claire came to see me. She stood outside my office. Can I come in? I nodded. She sat across from me. I owe you an apology. You've apologized before. This time I'm not asking you for anything. I studied her face. What changed? I finally understand what I couldn't see before. What? Love isn't money. I remained silent. It isn't status. It isn't a perfect house or an impressive family name. She took a breath. I thought those things made someone valuable. And now I know I was measuring love with the wrong things. I nodded slowly. I believe you. Tears filled her eyes. Thank you. She looked down at her hands. Ethan, can I ask you something? Yes. Is there still a future for us? The question hit harder than I expected. I remembered our apartment, our plans, our wedding, the promises. But I also remember the man I had become. I don't know. She looked at me. You do know. I sighed. Yes. What is it? I couldn't lie. My answer has changed. Her eyes filled with tears. Why? Because I don't need the future I once wanted. But I love you. I believe you. I finally understand what you meant to me. I believe that too. Then why? I looked at her quietly. She whispered, if you don't hate me anymore, why can't you love me again? I had spent months asking myself the same question. Now I finally knew the answer. I watched her walk away. I looked at Claire for a long moment. I loved you, I finally said, her eyes filled with tears. I know. No, you knew I loved you. That's different. She lowered her head. I loved you when you were everything to me. I built my entire future around you. I know. I thought losing you would destroy me. Claire wiped her tears. And now I know I can survive without you. She closed her eyes. Ethan, I don't want revenge. She looked at me. I don't want another apology. I understand. And I don't want another chance. Her lips trembled. I understand. I forgive you. She looked surprised. You do? Yes. Then maybe... I shook my head. Forgiveness doesn't mean returning. She looked down. I know. I stood. You made your choice. And you made yours. Yes. She smiled through her tears. I hope you're happy. I am becoming happy. She nodded. Then I'll leave. I watched her walk toward the door. Before she opened it, she stopped. Ethan? Yes. Thank you for helping me. I nodded. Take care of yourself, Claire. I will. She walked away. I didn't follow. For the first time, watching Claire leave didn't feel like losing something. It felt like letting go. Months passed. Adrian left the Blake family business completely. When I saw him at a small cafe one afternoon, he looked different. How's life? I asked. Hard. I smiled. That's probably good. He laughed. I started my own company. Doing what? Construction management. I raised an eyebrow. Seriously? Seriously. Then you're going to need patience. I learned that from watching you. I smiled. I hope you succeed. Thanks, Ethan. What about your father? He's facing the consequences. And you? I'm finally building something without his name behind me. I nodded. Good. My own business grew quickly. Dad gave me more responsibility. One evening, he looked at the plans on my desk. You've changed this company. I couldn't have done it without you. You could have. Mia smiled from across the room. He's finally learning to accept compliments. I laughed. Don't encourage him. Dad shook his head. You two make a strange team. Mia looked at me. We make a good one. I smiled. I think so too. Life became peaceful. Then one morning, an envelope arrived. I opened it. My hands froze. Claire's name was printed on the invitation. Mia noticed my expression. What is it? I handed it to her. She read it quietly. She's getting married again. Yes. Are you going? No. You're sure? Yes. Mia placed the invitation on the desk. What did she write? I looked at the small note attached. I want to thank you for teaching me what real love and accountability mean. I smiled sadly. She doesn't need me there. Maybe she wants closure. Maybe. Then why not give it to her? Because closure doesn't always require another meeting. Mia nodded. You've really changed. I had to. That evening, I drove to the old apartment. I stood outside the building where Claire and I had once planned our future. I remembered everything. The first night we moved in, our arguments, our laughter, the wedding plans, the promises. Then the day I watched her marry someone else. I took the invitation from my pocket. For a moment, I held it tightly. Then I dropped it into a nearby trash bin. Mia's voice came back to me. You're not losing everything. She had been right. I had lost Claire, but I had found myself. I looked at the apartment one last time. I thought losing you was the end. I whispered. The street was quiet. I turned away. I didn't look back. I walked toward the life I had built with my own hands. I no longer needed Claire to validate my worth. I no longer needed revenge to prove I had survived. I didn't need her regret. I didn't need another apology. I only needed to keep moving. And as I walked away from that old apartment, I finally understood the truth. I once watched a woman I loved marry someone else and thought my life had ended. Years later, I finally understood the truth. That wedding did not take my future away. It gave it back to me.